Joshua chapter 2 verse 15, the Bible says, then she let them down by rope through the window, for her house was on the city wall, and she dwelt on the wall. Jericho was loud with laughter, full of walls and worship of idols. It was such a proud city, strong but blind. And inside one small room on that wall lived a woman that they all whispered about. Her name was Rahab. Her story complicated. Her label, prostitute. But yet that night she became something that hell didn't see coming. And she became a door that God used to bring his servants into redemption and safety. God's eyes can scan beyond reputation to show his goodness and his mercy. Two spies had entered Jericho, and that was the story. They were trembling under disguise. The streets were dangerous, but grace had already found them lodging in Rahab's house. And when the king's men came knocking, she hid the spies under stalks of flax on her roof. And she risked her life for a future that she had not even seen yet. And that's faith. Faith is when you hide God's plan even when you don't fully understand it. And some people fear what faith demands. Rahab was afraid of what disobedience would cost. She said, look, I know the Lord has given you this land. In Joshua chapter 2 verse 9. Think about that. She believed before she belonged. Before she joined Israel, she already confessed the God of Israel as Lord. And faith is not about where you come from. It's about what you've come to trust. And Rahab didn't grow up with covenant, but she grew into conviction. Everyone in Jericho had actually heard of God's power, but Rahab responded to it. And that's the difference between curiosity and conviction. Information about God doesn't save you. It's surrender that saves you. Fear heard the news, but faith acted on it. And so when she tied the scarlet cord on her window, it was more than a sign. That was salvation. A scarlet thread through a sinner's story. That sounds familiar, right? It was a prophetic whisper of the blood of Jesus Christ marking mercy over guilt. Friends, grace doesn't deny your past. It redeems it with purpose. And the scarlet cord was Rahab saying, I may be on the wall, but I'm done living on the edge. It was almost as if I traveled with my mind and I saw the dust rise when Jericho's walls fell. Everything collapsed except Rahab's house. Imagine that for 1 minute. What irony. The woman the city looked down on was the only one left standing. When God marks your house, destruction becomes direction. The safest place to be in judgment is under obedience. And generations later, her name shows up in Matthew chapter 1 in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the prostitute that became a part of the promise. God didn't just save Rahab from Jericho. He actually wrote her into Jesus. And that's grace. Grace doesn't erase your history. It just rewrites your heritage. Friends, there are lessons to learn from Rahab's story and Rahab's life. And one of the priceless lessons to learn is that no one is too stained to be strategic in God's plan. God doesn't reserve seats for the perfect. He reserves it for the willing and the surrendered. And so don't let your past disqualify you from what your faith is ready to qualify you for. And the same rope that lowered the spies lifted Rahab into legacy, and she became a part of Jesus' story. So yes, it feels like I was there. It feels like I saw it all happen. And I saw the courage of a woman everyone called unclean. And this is what I've learned. God can use a broken reputation to birth a beautiful redemption. Rahab did not change her city. She only changed her allegiance. And then heaven changed her story. Friends, God has taken front row seat and He's watching out for your response. Have a blessed day, friends.
I hope she knows she's beautiful. A ray of sunlight shining everywhere she goes, and it's happening right in front of me. I'm watching it.